Hello, my little woolly. You asked and I listened. Today I'm sharing how to knit this beautiful tank top with a central lace panel. And as usual, you will find the written instructions on my website sewwoolly.net. There is a link for you below this video in the description box, below the title of the video. Before we start, I would like you to take a look at my last tutorial where I shared this lace pattern. So practice it, and if you think it's too difficult for you, don't worry, you can omit the central panel or just change the panel to another easier stitch like garter stitch or seed stitch, doesn't matter. Because I won't be demonstrating the same stitch again. You will find the link to that tutorial also in the description box below the title of the video. For this tank top, you will need between 300 and 400 grams of cotton yarn, DK light or number 3, US 6 or 4 millimeter needles, darning needle, scissors, 2 markers, and measurement tape. Please take the time to knit a swatch. A 4 by 4 inches or 10 by 10 centimeters square knitted in stockinette stitch equals 22 stitches and 27.5 rows. Remember, if your gauge swatch is different, the size of your top will be different too. This is a bottom-up construction starting from the hip. Then we will knit a little bit straight and start decreasing to shape the waist. Then another bit of straight section, and then we will increase to shape the bust, then the armholes, and at the same time we will be knitting the straps and the neckline. If you don't want to shape the top, just knit straight and omit the shaping sections. The front and the back are identical, and we have to cast on the number of stitches required by your size. I'm going to work here with a miniature because I don't want the video to be too long, but no worries. When we get to the important parts like the armholes and the neckline shaping, I will be working with the original piece. Now we have to work a setup row. Just purl every stitch and place the markers. So for example, for size S, we have to purl 37 stitches and then place the first marker. Those markers are to separate the central lace panel, so you know exactly where to start knitting the lace stitch. So place the first marker, purl 21 stitches. The panel has the same number of stitches for every size. Then place the second marker and finish the row purling every stitch. Just purl to the end. If you want to purl the last one through the back loop, that's okay. Straight section. First row, right side of the work. You have to knit every stitch to the first marker. Slip the first marker, and then you will have 21 stitches to work the lace stitch pattern 3 times. You will find the link clicking on the little eye or below the video in the description box. So 3 repeats of the pattern. Then slip the second marker and knit to the end of the row. Second row, purl to marker, working pattern, and purl to the end. And repeat these 2 rows until the piece measures. It's time for some decreases. So first row, right side of the work, knit 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to make a left leaning decrease called SSK. So slip the first as if to knit, slip the second stitch, put both back onto the left hand needle and knit them together through the back loop. We have decreased 1 stitch. Now knit to marker, slip the marker and work in pattern. Work the next 21 stitches in the corresponding row of your lace stitch. Slip the marker and knit to last 4 stitches. When there are 4 stitches left, knit 2 together. This is a right leaning decrease. We have decreased another stitch and knit 2. Second and every even row are rest rows, just purl to marker. We don't have to decrease anything. Slip the marker and work in pattern, the corresponding row of your lace stitch pattern. Slip the second marker and purl to the end of the row. Now, rows 3 and 5 are the same as row 1 without decreasing, and rows 4 and 6 are like row 2, just purl across without decreasing. And repeat these 6 rows 4 more times until we have decreased 10 stitches in total. After the decrease section is complete, we have to work some rows straight without decreasing. So row 1 as per every other right side row, knit to marker, work in pattern and knit to end. Row 2 as per other every even row, purl to marker, work in pattern and purl to end. Repeat rows 1 and 2 until the piece measures from the cast on row. It's time for some increases. So, row 1, increase row, right side of the work. We have to knit 2, 1, 2, and now make 1 left. Take the bar between 2 stitches and put it from back to front onto the left hand needle. And knit that stitch through the back loop. We have increased 1 stitch. This is a left leaning increase. Now, knit to marker, work in pattern, and knit to last 2 stitches. Now take the bar between the 2 stitches and put it from front to back onto the left hand needle and knit into the front of that stitch. This is called make 1 right. It's a right leaning increase, and knit the last 2. Row 2, wrong side row, as per every other even row, just purl to marker. Slip the marker, work in pattern, slip the marker and purl to end. So that's it. Repeat rows 1 and 2 4 more times until you have increased 10 stitches in total. So 10 rows, 10 stitches increased. Now we have to work several rows straight without increasing, as we did in the other straight sections. Just work rows 1 and 2, working pattern, until the piece measures from the cast-on row, ending with a wrong side row. For the armhole shaping, the pattern says bind off 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 stitches, depending on the size, at the beginning of the next 4 rows. So we have to bind off knitwise when working a right side row and purlwise when working a wrong side row. So this is my first row. I'm going to bind off 2, so knit 1, knit the next, and pass 1 stitch over the other. Knit the next and pass. So 2 stitches. And complete the row working in pattern. Row 2, wrong side row, I have to bind off 2 stitches purlwise. So purl 1, purl the next, and pass the stitch over. This is 1 stitch, purl the next, and pass the stitch over. 2 stitches. And working pattern to the end of the row. So repeat these 2 rows once more until you have complete 4 rows, and then the pattern says bind off again 2, 3, 4, 6, or 8 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows. So it's 6 rows in total. Now we have to make some decreases for the straps at the beginning and at the end of several rows. So on row 7 you have to knit 3. I don't have so many stitches here, so I'm just knitting 1, but for all sizes knit 3, and now SSK, slip, slip, back, and knit them together through the back loop once, and again slip, slip, back onto the left hand needle and knit them together through the back loop. So we have to make SSK twice, knit to marker, working pattern, and knit until there are 7 stitches left, ending the row with knit 2 together once and twice. Knit 3. As I said before, I don't have so many stitches here, so I'm knitting just 1, but you have to knit 3 stitches. Row 8 is a rest row. We don't have to decrease, just purl to marker, then as usual working pattern, and purl to the end. Row 9 is another right side row without decreasing, and row 10 is another wrong side row. So repeat rows 7, 8, 9, and 10 3 more times. Now we have to work several rows without decreasing. This is another straight section. So working pattern until the piece measures from the first armhole decrease row. Okay, your tank top looks like this. I will be working with the original piece, and now we will shape the neckline. Facing the right side of the work, knit to the first marker. Take off the marker, and now we're going to bind off knitwise the 21 stitches of the central lace panel. So knit 1, knit the next, and pass the first stitch over the second. Knit the next and pass over. Knit the next and pass over. And repeat. Take off the other marker and knit to end. So now we have split our work in two sides. We will need another ball of yarn to be attached on the wrong side. Row 2, this is a wrong side row. We have to purl every stitch to the end. And for the other side, we need to join a new ball of yarn. So leave a nice tail and purl every stitch from the first to the last. Row 3, right side of the work, this is a decrease row, so we're going to knit to last 8 stitches. So knit across, and when there are 8 stitches left, we're going to knit 2 together 4 times. Once, knit 2 together, twice, knit 2 together 3 times, and give the yarn a little tug, the tail, and knit 2 together. We have decreased 4 stitches on that side. Take the other ball of yarn, and we have to SSK 4 times as well. So slip, slip, knit once, slip, slip, knit, slip, slip, knit 3 times, slip, slip, knit 4 times, and knit to the end of the row. We have decreased 4 stitches on this side too. Turn the work, arrange the balls of yarn, and this is a wrong side row, so just purl every stitch on each side. Remember, every time you get to the central panel, you have to change the yarn, the ball of yarn you're working with. Now purl every stitch on this side too. Okay, turn the work, arrange the balls of yarn, and now we're going to work row 5. So knit to last 4 stitches, and now knit 2 together twice. Once, and knit 2 together twice. We have decreased 2 stitches on this side. Take the other ball of yarn and SSK twice as well at the beginning of the row. So slip 1, slip 2, knit them together once, and slip, slip, knit twice, and knit to the end of the row. We have decreased another 2 stitches on this side. Row 6 is another wrong side row, so just purl across on each side. And now repeat rows 5 and 6 4 more times to decrease at the end 10 stitches in total on each side. Continue working until the armhole measures from the first armhole decrease row, ending with a wrong side row. Now it's time to bind off the shoulders. For every size is different. For example, for size S, we have to bind off 9 stitches knitwise on each side. But for size M, we have to bind off 6 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows and 5 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows. So as we did for the armholes, if you don't remember this part, go back there and remember that when you're facing the right side of the work, you have to bind off knitwise, and when you're facing the wrong side of the work, you have to bind off rowwise. Okay, now it's time to knit the second part. Remember, front and back are identical. How to join the tank top. First, we're going to sew up the shoulders. So, thread your tapestry needle and make sure that both parts, front and back, are facing the right side of the work. And just place the tapestry needle below the V's, the 2 legs of each V from each side. I'm not using here any invisible seam because the strap is thin and I think the seaming will be too thick, but it's up to you. And now using the mattress stitch, we're going to join back and front. So first the most exterior part, just the corner to join both pieces. And now you have to stretch the fabric a little bit to see these little bars that are between the first and the second stitch from each side, and just place the needle below these bars. 2 bars on one side, 2 bars on the other side, and just repeat, changing from side to side until you get to the armhole. And repeat the process until your tank top is finished. Okay, congratulations, my little Willy. It's time to wear this lovely tank top. This is everything for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the love because sharing is caring. Happy knitting!